Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. Get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a feeling, yeah. Get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a feeling, yeah. Get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a feeling, yeah. Sometimes I get a feeling, yeah. Sometimes I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a feeling, yeah. Get a feeling that I never had before. Feeling, yeah.
Oh baby, look what you started. The temperature's rising and here's that's gonna happen. Been waiting and waiting for you to make a move. Before I make a move. So baby, come light me up. And baby, I'll let you on it. A little bit dangerous, but baby, that's how I want it. A little less conversation and a little more touch my body. 'Cause I'm so into you, into you, into you. Got everyone watching us. So baby, let's keep it secret. A little bit scandalous, but baby, don't let them see it. A little less conversation and a little more touch my body. 'Cause I'm so into you, into you, into you. Oh baby, look what you started. The temperature's rising and here's this gonna happen. Been waiting and waiting for you to make a move. Before I make a move. So baby, come light me up. And baby, I'll let you on it. A little bit dangerous, but baby, that's how I want it. A little less conversation and a little more touch my body. 'Cause I
up? What's up? What's up? I hope everyone is doing well, and I'm looking forward to hear all of you cool music again for this last stream of the year and the last thing that I'm doing on my YouTube channel, because it's time for me to go to Christmas. It's time for me to have some fun with the family and eat some good food. So I thought it would be fun to listen to you guys' music, and a lot of you again send your music in, and you can still do so. I put the link in the description. So if you still have music that you want to share during the stream, I think I'm going to be streaming for an hour or something, 1 hour 50 minutes or something. And I think, yeah, a lot of you are already here, so let's start listening to some music. And as the next, just like the last one, the patrons will get the first listen. So I see here already a patron. Its name is Austin. So let's see what Austin has made for us. Let's see what he made for us today. Food? Where's food? Let's see. It should be playable. I don't know what this is. It's no SoundCloud. So he already put some feedback for himself, which is always very smart. So its name is Visor. Its track is called Demons. And he already did some stuff. So I think let's have a listen to it. Well, that's a dope start to the stream. I have to say I really like those drops. They're really in your face. The sounds sound really huge, like that distorted synth work that I really like a lot. And I really like that you mix it up. Like the first drop is really dope, and then the second drop has like a different kind of rhythm, but still keeps that true to that hardstyle kind of feel. There's one sound that I really like a lot. It's really a little thing here. Let's see where it was. That sort of a kick that's building up towards the drop, I think is really dope. Creative way of, instead of using like a snare drum, to use like those building up kicks to announce the next coming drop. And the one thing that I think could have some work, I really like the breakdowns. I really like the theme that you set with those little bells, that really horror-y kind of feel. There's only one thing that I'm noticing is that the leads could be a bit bigger. I like that you have a really clear melody, which I enjoy listening to a lot. The bass in the break is also really good. But then I feel that you could do some more work with the chords. So it has a bit more mid information. Now it's much like it has bass, it has a top lead, but I'm missing that a body that glues everything together. So that would be my tip for this track still, to give the body of the break melody a bit more body, so to say. So that's even a little bit bigger as well. So it really is on the same level as the drops, which are really dope. So I hope this helps, and I hope to hear how the track will sound. And good job. So let's see the next one. I have another patron, Andres. Let's see what Andres has made. Let's see. Andres has made. I'm gonna put the North of Time. Is there any kind of clue? No. North of Time, Break the Castle, extended edit. Let's hear what this sounds like. The track North of Time from Break the Castle, North of Time, I think it's already a really interesting blend of different styles. It's like a big room track, but then on a slower BPM, which is really interesting. The first thing that I noticed is that the kick is not really that up to par with everything else that's going on. It's really, it's trying to be a really dope big room kick, but it's not there yet. So I would really give us a tip to really look through Splice or to the sample packs that are available to really find a solid kick for this one. Just look for the right tune of the kick. That's the same tune of as the track, or find a kick that's in the vicinity of that so you can pitch it. But it's, yeah, the kick at the moment now takes a bit away of all the cool sounds that are happening on top, because it's not sounding that impressive at the moment. I really like that you use different kind of synths in the drop parts, which make it really interesting. It keeps me wanting to hear more of the track. So the drop is like, I really like the melodies in the drop. I really like what you try to achieve, but I think that you need to look a bit more into a more hard-hitting kick drum, which what I think it will take this track to the next level. And then the break part. I really like the beginning of the melody. I really like that you're doing something a little bit different with the melody, that there are some weird notes in there, which I really like. But then there come in some sustained synth sounds, which I think are a bit too generic, bit too really thin. I really would like to see if you could go a bit more creative with that, so it's a bit more in your face, a bit more soothing to the rest of the breakdown. So it's a bit more interesting. But I think like most of the elements are already there. Just work a bit on those individual parts. Like for instance, like the main synth layer. Try to make some rhythm in that, so it's not only like long notes that you have right now. And then I think combine that with a different kick, and then I think you have a really cool track going on. So I hope this helps. Let me see it check. Next one we have here. Do we have another patron? Advice are done. Let me see. Did I? Oh, yeah, I did him already. No more patrons. Let's see. Then we go to a little bit of random tracks. See what Millennial has made for us today. Actually met Millennial during AD. He's a really talented producer from, I think, Italy. Yeah, Italy. So let's see what Millennial has made. Oh, he just put he just put his, I think it's not a track. Oh, Millennial, what have you done? Now, just let's just listen to the first one. Yeah, another great track by Millennial. I don't know if he wanted feedback for this, but yeah, there's not much that I could give for this. I really like this track. It really has a really nice atmosphere in the break. It's not like nowadays when you hear a lot of trance music, they try to make really really fast, how do you say it, arrangement. But here he has a really cool breakdown, so he really takes his time for the breakdown. And then yeah, the drop is really cool, really melodic. Some interesting chord choices, which I also really encourage to not use the same standard kind of chord progression. So great track. Let's see, we got here Tishat. Sorry for butchering your name, Tishat. Swinnick, much better. Alright, Swinnick, Cas Oswell. This is still more of an idea and it's not finished. Let's hear it. Cool artwork though. Yeah, for this one I really like the main chord synths. They're really subtle in the back. It reminds me a bit of Zed, how he does it, but then even more subtle. And I really like how you manage to bring those in the background of your drop, so to say. So it's still really apparent, but it's not taking the main place in the drop, which is that, of course, that top lead, which I really like. Like mixing wise, I still would think that it can be that you can make some steps into that, so that the kick is much more a central place in this drop, because now it's a bit in the back because all the leads and synths are on top of it. So it really, when you go to the mixing stage, then that you really put it into different sections. So first mix the bass with the kick, then add the synths to it, and then make sure that the kick is the most important part, then the bass, and then the synths, because that's what you're gonna hear in the club, and you want to get that across for the drop. And one thing I also notice here is that there's a lot of reverb or delay going on in the beginning, and that's taking me a bit away of the chord progression that you're trying to achieve. So that's something that would also be great to look into. But nonetheless, for work in progress, I think it's a really interesting, cool idea, and I would love to see how this will turn out. So we got next, we got let's see, let's do one was earlier, Cracked. I hope he's not talking about his software. Make Me Yours. Alright, Cracked. What kind of genre will this be? I think somebody jinxed my speed of my internet.
The way you're moving, the way you're touching me, the way you do it, the way you undress me. Just let me have you, just make me yours.
Just let me have you, just make me yours. Just let me have you. Just make me yours.
I feel so good. Make me.
Alright, really dope track. This, I really like a lot of elements in it. I really like the most important parts that I really like are the melodies. I really like the drop leads, the drop melodies that are going on. So for this one, I would like to really go a bit more technical, because I think the track, like the structure of the track, the whole layout is really cool. But there are still some things that I'm hearing, like for instance the kick. It's not powerful enough. I think you can make a lot of progress if you give it a bit more punch, give it a bit more power. In this kind of track, it's the combination between the bass and the kick, which I think you could make a lot of progress in. That it's more hard hitting, because it's not that punching through. It sounds really, everything sounds really subtle, which in some genres I really like. For instance, like in tropical house, everything is like really nicely balanced, which is great. But I think when you're going for a big room kind of track, it needs to pump a bit more. So really look into making the drop a bit more pumping, and I don't mean to add more leads and stuff, but a more thing to look into how you can improve that kick, make the kick louder so that you can bring everything up a bit in the mix. But the main parts like the leads and the melodies are really dope. One thing that I'm noticing is that in the breakdown, yeah, that one thing that I noticed that when the vocal starts playing, you keep the bass on the same note, and it is taking away a bit. In the beginning, you make the bass go into a melody, but then the bass stays the same note, which for me is a bit awkward. It's like it takes away a bit of the emotion of the vocal. And having said that, I think that the break could use a bit more body, and I think it could be more could use some more elements, because now it's just like a really subtle bass, which is not too present, and have the really high, almost really thin vocal. So some idea, and that synth line, of course, that's really dope, arpeggiated synth line. So I would really think of some ideas how you can give that a bit more body. So for instance, you could try like a vocoder effect underneath that vocal. Try for instance like the low hardstyle vocal effect. Layer some pads underneath it, layer some plugs underneath it, make that bass a bit more in your, like pump that bass a bit more, but add some stuff that's really making that breakdown a bit more interesting, because the leads and the melody afterwards are brilliant, are really dope. So I really hope that you have something with this, and that you can really improve on the things that you already have, because the track in a sense is really dope, but I think if you just put a little bit more time in it, I think it will be an amazing tune that you're having here. So, oh yeah, one more thing, I really like that you put in the second 8 bars of your drops to go a bit different with your chord progression, with your bass notes, which still keeps it interesting, which I really like. So, you're welcome, Custer. Let's see. Oh, here, there's a patron. Sorry that I didn't see you. Whistleblower. Caesars. Hope you guys enjoy my version of Jerk It Out by the Caesars. Message me for a free wave download. Okay. Festival mix. That's always good.
And you jerk it out. When you jerk it out. Jerk it out.
Really cool ending. I didn't expect that really bouncy. Yeah, really cool festival mix. It does what a festival mix is supposed to do. It shouldn't be that difficult to understand. It should be really like festival-y. And I really like that you got some cool melodies out of the original, that you really made something cool in the breakdown over there. And I really like the drop that you did. It's really the build-ups and everything is really well mixed. Only thing that I think that you could make a bit better is the kick, because now it's like it's a really sharp, really good thing. Yeah, the kick itself, like the punch of the kick is really good, but then the bass is like it's really long. It's like the sub is it sounds a bit like the sub is just playing all the time, and it doesn't have any sidechain and it doesn't have any stopping effect. And what you hear in a lot of big room tracks and those festival mixes, that between the kick and the first kick and the next kick, that there will be like a gradual fade off. So it really feels like those are separate kicks, and now it feels like you have yeah, it feels like you have like a lot of sub going on, but the sub is not like really punching enough because it's playing all the time, so you don't have a feeling that every time a kick hits that something is pumping. So would have a look into that and just try to to make those kicks stand a bit out more. And I mean the kick bass combination. So you have a feeling that you're going towards every kick and that you're not making it like one long kick bass layer. But everything else I think is really well done, really well mixed. The leads are really clean, which I like. And overall a really cool festival mix. Let's see. Ulbrix. Let's see what Ulbrix has made for us today. I will try to check out the regular customers. Donkey Kong. Awesome artwork. Cool track, cool remix. In the beginning I wasn't sure where you were going with this, but I think there are some really cool things in here, and I like that you try to do something unique. The first thing that I would give as a tip is to not try to do anything, not anything, everything in every track. So I hear a lot of things going on. It goes a little bit all over the place. There are some really cool elements, but some other elements where I think like, are they really necessarily? Like for instance, like when you go here. Where the kick is stopping and everything is really a little bit messy, if I dare say so. So I would really like focus a bit more on your main drops because those are really bouncy, and make sure that your synths are, because you're having a really happy melody, that they're not too screamy and not too happy and not too high pitched, because as you can probably hear when you listen it back, when you go that octave up, it becomes really screamy. So I would really think about something, or you use like a different synth, or you use like a vocal chop or anything, like, so you don't make it too screamy. And then another tip that I would give you is when you go from one part into another, make sure that there's some contrast, that there's a bit more building up and building down. So it's not so that, because now when the drop comes in, I'm not like too, you want to have that build up effect for your listeners when they're going towards the drop, and now I'm missing it a little bit. So if you take away the energy a bit like before the drop and then build up towards that drop, and then work a bit on your kicks and your bass lines, like I mentioned in a few previous tracks that I've heard today, to make them really punch, and then that contrast will make it punch even more. So yeah, that's what I would say for this track. I really like the ideas. I really like that you had an original approach on on this track. I really didn't know the original anymore, but now it's stuck in my head. So really cool idea. So I hope this helps, and I hope that you will be able to make something really dope out of it. Let's see. Who do we have next? Let's go with Fire Tech. That's a dope name. Fire Tech, Coolio. Oh, Gangster's Paradise. Festival mix again together with Fire Tech finally is now available. I guess here's a drop somewhere.
The shadow of death. I take a look at my life and real it up. You better watch how you're talking.
Yeah, really dope bootleg. I really like that you made something really fresh out of that original, which is totally a different genre. And I really like that you made something clean. Like the drop is really pumping, but it's not too overpowering everything. Everything is like really well produced. I can hear that directly. And I think you made something really dope. The only thing that I didn't like has nothing to do with the track, but I mean, I have to go a little rant here. I hate this kind of shit. What? No, not that person, but I mean, why? I hate it so much. Why people always have those. I mean, why not? I just wonder why not give something for free without having to put a comment there, which is not saying anything. I mean, people will comment in the end if they like something, but that's just my rant. What I hate about those. What are those portals or what they're called? Just a little rant for me. Right, back to the music. Victor Hugo Chavez, Chavez, what have you made? ID and Victor H. ID. ID. This could be a hit, man. This could really be something like Epic was a few years ago. I really like that melody that you have. It reminds me a bit of those Swedish House Mafia tracks where it really has that hands in the air feel. And I really like that the drop that you made. I think like mixing wise and mastering wise, it could be everything. It could be a bit more in your face. Also perhaps a really cool idea to layer that main synth with some kind of a percussion so it's really plucky. But I have to say this it's something, it reminds me a bit of Sandro Silva, which he used to make. So I really think this could be gold if you like work out really properly this and just use the things that you already have, but then work on the mix down, work on the individual layers, just go really deep with them so that everything that you have now is like really put and mixed well together. The things that have to be in the high frequencies are in the high frequencies, and that those leads have some body underneath as well, so have some bass line that's really pumping underneath. And then I think you have a hit, man. Sometimes I don't have to give that much feedback. If it's good, it's good. Let's see. Who do we have? Against the Sky. What does Against the Sky made for us today? Sublime. Let's hear if it is Sublime. I really like the break of this one. I really liked it. Caught me off guard totally when it came in here in the beginning, but I think this is really a unique approach to this kind of genre, and I like all the little things that you added to the break. It really shows that you're really putting a lot of thought into the breakdowns, which I really like. Regarding the drop, I really like the melody that you put in the drop. I really like those little rhythm changes that you did of alterations in the drops that you used. It's, for me, the leads are really dope, but they're a little bit too screamy at the moment. So that's something that I would, when you're making a new track, tone down a little bit. So it still has that distorted feel, but it's not too squeaky, if that makes any sense. And yeah, and I think for this, it's like most of the progress that you will be making is like keep making those really interesting breakdowns, keep working on your mix down, because I think it's already a lot of things. Like when it starts, it's really fresh, but when the drop hits, the kick is a bit, yeah, I see it's 11 months old, and it like there is some improvements to be made in the kick department, but I think overall, like, the things that you're doing in the break are really interesting. I like the melodies that you're making, so cool synths. So I would say keep it up and look forward to hearing new music by you. Let's see, Vicente. What has Vicente made? Vicetrope, also a dope name. Visor, sleep is for the weak. What's up, Monta Music? Yeah, this one also has a lot of potential. You guys are killing it at the moment. I really like that you have a really cool main drop. I really like that you use those chords. You made a really cool melody and then you put those drops and those melodies together. I really like how you did that. The first thing that caught me was in the beginning, that first chord step that you used here. And the first one is really cool, but after that you're gonna add a lot of reverb, and then you're gonna add a lot of repetitions of those chords and melodies. And I think the first one is really special, and then afterwards you're gonna overdo that synth a bit. So I would really like to see if you could make some different sounds for that first drop, because when this first one hits, it's really dope. But then everything that comes after it really feels like I've already heard it, and would love to hear that you do something different with that. So for instance, like use that step every 4 bars or something. But yeah, I really like that part, and I really like the breakdown. I really like those chords, but I think they could be a bit bigger, a bit more. I wouldn't necessarily say layering, but perhaps do a reverb sidechain effect, which you could also apply to the intro drop, so it's not too, so it's really even more bouncy. And then the last thing that I noticed is perhaps the BPM is a bit too slow when it goes in the main drop. Yeah, I think the kick and the bass are really dope, but I think if it's a bit faster, then it will be even more in your face. But other than that, I think you have a really cool track with when you put some more work into it. That's a bit, yeah, the thing, a bit of those final touches. Then I think you have a really dope track. You don't speak English? Ah, we'll teach you. Everybody will help him teach him some English. Let's see, Dewey April. I've never heard of that name, so guess he's born in April. Nice one, that's foo. Oh God. Too much information. Shout out to the names. I think you have a really cool melody here, man. I think that you, arrangement-wise, is a bit all over the place because when I start listening here, 1 minute, and then only at 2 minutes later will only be like a kick, and it's a bit strange because I feel like there should be like a kick and a drop here. And then something I noticed is that a lot of this track is the saw leads are really open all the time. The cutoff is open a lot. So when you listen, for instance, like the old Alpha 9 and the old Artie tracks, he has a little bit similar kind of melodies, but he brings them in a really interesting way where it's not all too super saw sounding, but it's more like really gentle kind of approach, which I think would suit this track really well. And it will sound also a bit more, how do you say it, creative when you put the filter down and make them a bit more plucky, so it's all a bit into the filter. I think that would be a really cool idea for this track. But I really like the melodies, and I would really love to hear what you can come up with for this track. Let's see who we got. Let's see what Revio has made. He was the first one to send something. Revio, what have you made? Yeah, I think for today, I think this is my favorite melody. I really like how this comes in here in the break. I think it's something really special. And then the only thing that I'm having with this one is that I'm just gonna let it play in the back because I like it a lot. Let's see. Is that I think you. That makes no sense. That you could do something more interesting with the drop. It now sounds really big, roomy, progressive kind of drop. And I think if you would listen back to some of those older Arston kind of tracks, like the Universe and stuff, that I think when you have such a special melody, I would really encourage you to try to make something really special in the drop as well, instead of making something that a lot of people are doing in that dark progressive kind of genre, because this melody is something really, really amazing. So I would encourage you to do something a little bit more creative with it. As you can see in the chat, a lot I'm not the only one who thinks that that melody is great. So yeah, listen back to some older Porter Robinson or Laszlo or who was also great. Yeah, Arston. I think that you could. Yeah, of course, the track sending to me is free. I'm not gonna charge you to send me music. You can just send it to the link in the description or on my Instagram bio. The link is there as well. But Rivio, amazing track, man. I really like the melody, and I would really hope to see if you could make something really cool with those with the drop. Let's see, Sai Sampreet, Freeze Time. The Freeze Time remix. Let's see what this is. Yeah, really cool approach. I really like that you make something bouncy out of it. Tried some different melodies. I think it works really well. And I really like most of the melody. There's only one thing that I'm keep hearing in the back of my head, that you keep going back to the same note. And what I mean with that is that you, in a drop, you have something like that you end up that you keep coming back to this, and I think I'm hearing something like dun, 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 that you have a bit of differentiation in that melody, but that's something that I'm hearing. Yeah, but that's something that I'm hearing. But I think overall a really cool approach, and I really like what you did with this remix. Let's see what did we check yet? I should next time put some notes, which I've already have done. I don't think I had Fran, or did I have Fran already? So professional. No, this one didn't have this. Let's see. Now that's a kick drum. That's what we want to hear. I think the drops are massive. Like, they're really simple, but because that kick is so in your face, and yeah, it sounds really impressive. I really like what you did with those drops, and they really kick you up a notch, as I like to say. I think that you could make some progress in the breakdown. For now, it's a bit, yeah, it's a bit dull for me. I have to say, it's a bit too. And I don't mean dull with that your chords are dull. Your chords are really cool, but I think you could do something a bit more creative with those chords. That you bring them in a bit more with some interesting kind of synths and or in some kind of instrument. Because now we have those really cool leads in the drops, and now that same kind of structure plays a bit of sound choice plays a bit in the break as well. And I think it's really great if you use some different sounds in the break, which are a bit more, yeah, make it a bit less repetitive, because now you have two really amazing drops and the break feels a bit like, yeah, there has to be a break instead of like something that really grabs your attention. So I would really look for something that will really grab your attention in the breakdown, because man, those drops are really insane. So that's what I have, my 2 cents for this awesome little track. Let's see what we got. Oh, there are some popping in as we speak. Let's see what that fool has made. That fool, sorry. What's up, Atrox? Hope you're doing well. The Dungeon Master. That foe, what have you done? You sent me a link which doesn't work. Well, let's see the next one. Joseph Hagen. Let's see what Joseph Hagen made. This is also really dope. I really like the drop, I really like the melodies, those vocal chops are insane. And now comes the critique. I think you can do much more with those chords, with those here. Everything sounds really squished, compressed together, and I think if you make really conscious decisions, where am I gonna put my super saw, where I'm gonna put my top lead, where's my bass coming, if you make really conscious decisions where you put them in the frequency spectrum. So for instance, put the bass like in the middle, have a cool distorted bass on top of that, and have those chords play a certain part in this frequency spectrum, those leads on top of it, and don't try to make everything wide, because now everything is wide and everything is a little bit on top of each other and trying to breathe into the track, and now everything is almost like looking for air to breathe. So I would really think, try to bring everything a bit back in energy, so to say. So everything sound for sound has a bit more room, and then try push certain parts until you get a really nice blend, so that you, for instance, put like your main lead in the middle, you put your chords really wide, and you make them not all detuned a lot and not all really really chorusy, really reverby, but really conscious decision of how much you're gonna process it, and then the bass really subtle in the middle. And I think you can make this even bigger, because I think all the elements are there to make this an amazing track, with the drop, which is really unique, the break is really unique, the vocals are really unique, but it just needs to be mixed a bit better. Yeah, it just needs to be mixed a bit better. And I'm thinking, I hear a lot of things with your guys' music that I think you have all amazing ideas, and I'm gonna try to work out a way how I can implement, be it via my YouTube channel, be it via my Patreon page, for sometimes to really help some of you guys with your mixing, because I think there's a really, mixing is just something really technical, and it's something that I've struggled with a lot. And I think if I could help you guys a bit with the mixing part of your amazing music, then I can help you along to really get the great ideas sounding really big as well. But I think it's 80% there, and it just needs that little bit of attention to make everything sound awesome together. All right, which name doesn't have any yet? Exmo. Let's see what Exmo had made. Share Belief.
It's so sad that you're leaving. It takes time to believe it. But after all is said and done, you're gonna be the lonely one. Oh, do you believe in love after love after love after love after love? I can feel something inside me saying, I really don't think you're only now. Do you believe in love after love after love after love? I can feel something inside me saying, I really don't think you're only now. Do you believe in love after love? Something inside me saying, I really don't think you're strong enough. You're strong enough.
Yeah, this is really dope. I really like the drop. I really like the how you incorporated the melody of the main vocal into the main leads. And I see that you want some feedback for the mix down. Well, I got a whole list. No, just kidding. The thing is, when I compare how you how clean the synths in the drop are towards how clean the synths in the break are, the drop synths are much cleaner. They have a much more, are much more punchy. They have a much subtle high end. It's much, yeah, everything fits and glues much better together there. So I would really look into how you can make the main break melody also like that. And I think it's something that I mentioned in the previous track as well, is that don't make everything, try to make every sound big, because all the sounds will get stacked on top of each other. So I would really, some key elements would be like the reverb, have control of your reverb, have control of how long your notes are, and then you can do with reverb, with decay, that you don't make them too long. Then also, yeah, the placement is frequency spectrum. Don't have everything really wide. Don't have everything on the same frequencies, like with the high frequencies and the low frequencies. Make sure that you have a bass that is really, that it's not too apparent in the mid range or the mid low range, because that's where you also want to have a lot of information of your main synthesizers. So just try to cut it a bit and place it a bit differently for your main chords. And then the last thing that I'm hearing is don't don't overdo the side chain here in the main leads part in the breakdown, because it sounds a bit too over compressed. And there's one thing when you're doing the high cut, when you're going towards the build up, it's clipping. So make sure that you put a limiter behind it, or just lower the volume a bit so that filtering down goes really smoothly. Yeah. But other than that, I think it's really dope. It's really punchy, and I really like what you did. So I guess we're going on to the next one. All right, that Foo, one more chance for you. For you. Let's hear if this one works. Let's hear what they made. Come on. The first thing I noticed with this track is that you have some really cool percussion in there. I really like that you, even you said that you did it on your phone. I think that if you can make something like this on your phone, that's only a really great thing. Then you can get even better when using the computer. Because what I'm noticing is like, there you have all the elements. You have a really straightforward arrangement, which is easy to follow. But all the sounds that you are using, they sound a bit like it's done on a phone, and it's. I think you could make a lot more progress if you really have some really interesting sound for your main chords, like some really bouncy future house chords or future bass chords, and then in the break have something to really catch the ear of the listener. Because now, like if you see me scrolling through a breakdown, that's normally not a good sign, because that means that there's, for me at least, not enough happening at the moment. So I would really have some fun with it. Have some try some different sound combinations, try some different melodies in the breakdown, and then yeah, looking forward to hear what you're coming up with. I think I'm gonna do 2 more, and then it's time for me to chill a bit for the evening. So let's see, this is by World Famous, The Power of One. Oh.
Disarm of the harmony of fire, ice, lighting. Lest this time and sweet distraction upon the world in which they clash. The only water strict guardian shall rise to plan fire. Now the sun will fade, thus the earth shall turn to ash. The power of one.
Yeah, this is now a track which has a really long arrangement, but I'm interested all the time because I think you have a knack for creating really original themes, and I think the breakdowns are really something special. I think that your orchestration is the melodies of your orchestration is really good. I feel like if you would use a bit how am I gonna say this? Use some more impressive libraries or like really or recorded strings for this as well. Then it will sound a little less thin, because now everything is playing a bit in those mid-high range when it comes to notes. And I think if you have a really warm string underneath it, it will make it even more bigger. But like when it comes to orchestration, when it comes to composition, I think it's really something really dope. The kick is really cool. I really like the kick, and those drops. I really think the leads, the synth, how they build up are really dope. They could be a bit more hardstyle-ish. Now they're really clean. I feel that you could make them a bit more gritty, have a bit more of a grit to it. And yeah, the vocal, if you like the vocal, keep it. But for me, it takes a bit away the beauty of the whole track, because it feels like everything is really mysterious, and then comes a vocal in which, yeah, if done properly, like a really cool vocal can work, like it's done in hardstyle a lot of the time. But this one is a bit too, it feels a bit out of place. But I have to say, really props to how you made this breakdowns. I can really hear that you put a lot of time into it, and that really shows. So keep it up. Now, one last person that I'm gonna check, and then it's time for me to go to bed. No, not to bed, but I'm gonna go do some other stuff. So which one haven't I done yet? Let's try Current. KRNT and Tricktones. Well, last one of the day. Let's make it a good one, I hope. Yeah, really cool this one. I really like the break work. I think that little, I don't know what is, like a plug or something. Yeah, that really gets me hooked already to this track, and I really like that you chose a really original kind of loop for that, or like a plug line, like a MIDI kind of melody, which is really interesting, both rhythm-wise and melody-wise, which I really like. And this is a really good example of a vocal being used really well. It's like a talked vocal. I can't really hear that well what it's saying, but it don't matter because it's just like for atmosphere. And I like that you really announce the leads really subtly, and then a big lead melody comes in, followed by that really amazing drop. And yeah, I really like this part of the track. I really like a lot. This second part, yeah, it doesn't do it for me yet because I don't know. Because this part is so good. That melody is amazing. I would rather see you try to do something with that first melody again to make it to make a little alteration of that, because this is something really special, and this is a bit. Or for instance, do like a combination, do like one bar and then bring that other lead in, so you have a bit of question response. So it's still using those two elements, but then keeping it a bit more true to that first melody, which I think is really awesome. And yeah, and the same thing that I said with the other one, when it comes to kick and leads in a breakdown, ease a bit up on the sidechain so it's not too doesn't have such a massive sucking effect. But I think, yeah, especially for a work in progress track, it's really an amazing track. I really like how you work out the breakdown. Sounds really fresh. I really like the drops. I really think those kicks and those basses are really dope. So I think that's a really great track to end the stream with. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the stream, and I really enjoyed listening to your music again. Next month I will be back with another stream, and then you can resend your music. If I haven't got a chance to listen to today, I will try to do it next month and try to help you guys with a little bit of feedback to become better producers, and just, yeah, give you guys a little bit of a platform. I don't have that many people listening to my stuff, to my streams and stuff, but I really like to try to help you guys in becoming better producers and enjoying each other's music. So I really hope you like the stream, and then I'll catch you guys on the next one.